Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Faith Spotlight. Joining me today is Sean Lynn, who is president of God Squad Canada and just recently appointed as National Director for Canada for the Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance. Thanks, Sean, for joining us today.
Thanks, Mario, for having me.
Well, let's talk about the Alliance. Tell us a little bit about what the Alliance does and its purpose.
So, men's conferences have been going on throughout North America God Squad's been doing ours. We're getting ready for our 27th annual next March.
Yeah.
But there was no coordination to speak of, and a number of individuals got together and created the Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance so that we could all work together, encourage each other, and work on best practices and share that, and then coach and mentor those in dioceses where there is nothing going on. So that was the start of it. They were blessed to have people like Father Larry Richards and Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers on the board, not to mention some of the other strong Catholic men's movements in the US. And I was asked to join shortly after. Jeff Cavins had invited me down to their second annual conference or summit, and that's how I got involved. So
what's your role in this?
I wear a few hats. I am on the board representing Canada, but I'm also paid as a coach and mentor, plus looking at National Director for Canada. So Canada is my go make a vibrant ministry to men in every diocese in Canada is my mission. So as you can guess, that's a large task.
Just going to say that's one heck of a big project that you've got on the go.
It is, and I've been very blessed by meeting some wonderful men across Canada that are jumping on board to help with the mission.
Can you talk, Sean, a little bit about why this is important? Why is men's ministry important, and why at this time do we need it in this country? Well, everywhere basically, but
yeah, everywhere is right. Part of it is men are lonely and isolated. They don't have that support system to encourage them to fulfill their roles as husbands, fathers, priests, deacons, even the bishops. We were presenting to the Western Catholic bishops in February, and we talked about this loneliness in men. And there was a voice at the back of the room and said, bishops too. So there's a lot of isolation going on. Society has been whittling away at men for decades now.
What, when you look at churches today, and I think you might want to say it's a stereotype, but a lot of the ministries and things done in churches, over the years have been very female oriented, and men kind of shied away from that. Tell me, like, from your perspective, like, why were men shying away from faith? Why were men shying away from talking about their faith with others?
That's a very good question. Like, even my dad, when I joined the police service in 1989, was saying there's two things you don't talk about in the car is religion and politics, right? Because they're very personal, but we need to encourage men to embrace their faith. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly when it happened that looking after the faith became the wife's job. You get the kids done. Where men are called to be the leader in the house when it comes to forming their children in the faith. uh Jeff Cavins talks about how the Jewish tradition, that was so important for the men
Hmm.
to do that.
And passing down the faith to their children, right?
That's right. And unfortunately, we've created this symptom where, like you say, many of the ministries are fulfilled by women in the church, and young men just assume that there's no place for them in the church because they don't see the men doing
Hmm.
ministry in the church. Like,
Yeah.
we're blessed to be part of a very vibrant and active parish, but I know I've gone to many uh where the only male that you see at the altar is the priest, which, what does that say to the young men?
Hmm. Well, let's speak about the young men, and how do you reach them? Like, we know that, you've got a kind of a double whammy there, right? In some sense, it's first men and second age, right? And we know that that age, around late teens, maybe early 20s, that's when a lot of people kind of tend to move away from the faith that they've been brought up with. So how do you reach them?
That's the $1 million question. Although God Squad has been focused on that for quite a number of years. We had a team retreat probably 15 or more years ago, and that's where we wanted to focus. Right from the beginning, we've invited men to bring their sons to the God Squad conference, uh, and encouraged it by creating a lower price. We encourage the university students. We've invited CCO to come and volunteer and get involved
Hmm.
over the years. So we create a price point where it's $10 to come get your Tim Hortons coffee and donuts in the morning, Spalumbo's for lunch. Where else can you get that for $10? And then you throw in the conference where they
Yeah.
see the men together, and it creates that atmosphere where it's not just for old guys like you and I, Mario.
Speak for yourself. So, Sean, you did mention your career as a police officer. Can you talk a little bit about, and you retired from that. Can you talk a little bit about that and how, like, what was it about your police work that kind of I don't know, sets you up for what you're doing now?
Well, it was early on in my police career. Myself and some other police officers saw the people, especially the young people we were dealing with, didn't have that positive male role model at home.
Yeah.
They didn't have a dad in the house. So we saw the need for that, and that's why God Squad started many years ago. And I worked with youth at risk for 10 years, youth at falling into gangs, and it was very much the same
Yeah.
thing. So we need to create a sense of belonging for these young people, that they belong. And our diocese is working on unveiling their new go forward, where you matter, you belong. And that's so important, especially for young people, because that's why they join gangs. That's why they go, because they want to be part of something. They want to be something bigger than themselves. And our faith offers that. We just do a poor job of letting people know about that.
Hmm. So what's your I guess what's your motivation in this, Sean? Why are you so passionate about this work?
I that this that I was asking God the same question just this past Easter season. Like, why me? Why'd you choose me? Why has this not been taken away from me? And I was given because you are my beloved son. Basically, I ransom for you. Uh, Isaiah 42, the first 8 uh, lines in that were a gift given to me at Easter this last year, and I guess that sense of duty as a police officer, you have that sense of duty and right and wrong to, and you need to do what you can in order to make the world a better place. And I see no better way than God Squad Canada, Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance, where their motto is strengthen the man will strengthen the family. Strengthen the family will strengthen the church. Strengthen the church and will make a difference in the culture of this world.
And Lord knows, culture of this world needs a difference to be made these days, doesn't it?
That's so true, and that's where I'm so excited just to be part of this. God allowing me to be part of this journey, this team, uh, giving me this mission, and I'm supported by so many. I've got a board of directors with God Squad. I'm on the board with some incredible men at the Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance. So that's where knowing that you're not alone in this mission, in this, if you want to call it a battle, whatever you want to call it, knowing that you are not alone is so rewarding.
So, what's your message, Sean, to parishes out there in the community, whether they be in Calgary or anywhere else in Canada, about the importance of a men's ministry and how to go about getting it going?
Well, and we define it as ministry to men,
Okay.
because there's lots of men's ministry, but we need to minister to the men to support them. And what was given to me as read David, and he had these mighty men with him.
Mm-hmm.
And can you imagine if every parish had 3 mighty men in each parish that encouraged the 30 other mighty men that were with David?
Yeah.
Like, we could just rock this world, and we need you to step up and accept your role as a leader. We need you to, especially the young men, listen to God's call in your life. And whether you're starting a small group with 4 or 5 guys or something larger, we're here to support you to start that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance exists for that sole purpose of supporting you to get your ministry going in your diocese, in your parish, and beyond.
All right. So, Sean, if people want to learn more or need advice, need help, how do they reach you?
So the easier email is Sean at godsquad.ca. The Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance is catholicmenleaders.org. There's also a resource that they've created. It's called heroicmen.com. There's an app that you can put on your phone, and it's full of material to help support men and run small groups, whatever you need. There's a ton of videos on there, including my show, A Dram with Friends, that you were one of the very first guests on. So
Tell us, before we go, tell us about that.
well, it's 2 guys sitting in the pub talking about faith, family, food, and fun, which is just an informal way to talk to other leaders and men that are making a difference. Some of them, like Jeff Caven's Father Larry Richards. Other
Yeah.
people are the men in the background that are hidden, that are working away, and I want to shine some light on what they're doing. So it's it's just a fun way to interact. You and I both know about Spalumbos, and I was down there Saturday morning, and there's a group meeting there, and I was telling them that that's what they've created, is that small group of support where they can come and talk, have coffee and breakfast, and just support one another. And what a beautiful thing that is.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Sean, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mario, and may God bless the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much. That was Sean Lynn, president of God Squad Canada and National Director Canada for the Catholic Men's Leadership Alliance. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Faith Spotlight. Thanks for joining us today.